Hello, everyone, and welcome to Crypto Night, the crypto investor channel. I'm Boris, so let's dive in. We're looking at today the state of smart contract platforms for Q1 2024. Now, that includes platforms like Ethereum, BNB Chain, Solana, Avalanche, Tron, Polygon, Arbitrum, Optimism, Base, and ZK Sync era. So it's basically looking at the activities and what's going on, and it's an interesting quick report. We're going to go over this in just a few minutes to see the different activities and how that is a good indicator on what ecosystem is most likely going to be more popular than the others. So on this one, it's using data from Q4 2023 and Q1 2024. And they ranked those 28 networks with 13 different metrics. Of course, feel free to pause at any time the video if you want to look at specific numbers. On YouTube, it's very easy to actually zoom in. So one thing that's very important here to me is the revenue metric. We see that, for instance, Ethereum is making in this Q1 2024 basically 1,172 million in revenue. I mean, this is just gigantic. They have BNB Chain is making 66 million, Solana is making 98 million, Avalanche is only making 7.5 million, so that is not too great. Tron is making 128 million, Polygon is only making 6.8 million, Arbitrum is making 27 million, Optimism is making 16 million, Base is making 27 million, even though it doesn't really matter because there is no coin for it. And ZK Sync era is making 20 million. So you see, it's funny, like some are making a ton of money and some are not making a whole lot of money. Now here we definitely see that Ethereum, BNB, Solana, and Tron, they're making some good amounts of money. I mean, they're starting to really make quite a bit of money. Now, the total market cap and the Ethereum dominance. So in this one, basically, the ETH market share has fallen 4.2% quarter over quarter to 65% as Optimism, for ETF, the Ethereum ETF in May is banned. So it's definitely interesting to see that the dominance is dropping. It's now down to 65% for the major ecosystems. Now, the token price in growth, the one that has gone up the most quarter over quarter, almost 91%, and has risen to $86 billion, is Solana. That's the biggest gainer. I mean, obviously, we've all seen, how high it did, but it's just edging out BNB at 91% versus 89% quarter over quarter for BNB. So BNB is also very, very close. And the Sol, the token of Solana, is up 845% year over year. Now, again, for the revenue, very important, 1.6 billion in total revenue in the first quarter for all those different ecosystems. And ETH dominance is just gigantic, 74.6%, almost 75%. And quarter over quarter, they are up 7.5%. So their dominance is getting stronger. It's already huge because it's like 3/4 of the whole thing. And also, it's very interesting that the total revenue quarter over quarter is now 1.6 billion, and that's a 66% quarter over quarter increase. So definitely, those projects are starting to make some serious money. And that's important, if they want to present all this as a viable ecosystem, and that one day, it will make a lot of money. In revenue growth, however, you see a different picture here. Solana is the biggest gainer. Quarter over quarter, almost 600%. They have now reached $98.9 million. Now, of course, a lot of people will say, well, it's because of the meme coins, it's because of this, it doesn't matter. It's like, why isn't it Ethereum grabbing that market share? Wasn't it BNB? Why isn't it Optimism or Avalanche? No, it's Solana that grabbed it. So that's what matters. And people usually build stuff on what they feel is going to be the best of all worlds. So that is a huge gain for Solana, and Base is also one that's gaining quite a bit because they're up 400% as well. And Base, the other thing that was interesting to note was that not only it is up 400% quarter over quarter and up to 28 million, but in March alone, it was 21 million. So the majority of that 400% is very, very recent. It's basically all happening last month. Now, the average transaction fees on Ethereum still super expensive, $11, $10.91 to be exact, but pretty much, let's say almost $11. On Base, we're talking around 50 cents. Optimism 38 cents, Arbitrum 31 cents, Tron 29 cents, BNB 18 cents, ZK Sync Era 18 cents, Avalanche 18 cents, Polygon 19 cents. I'm sorry, 18 cents for Avalanche, 1.9 cent for Polygon, and 1.4 cent for Solana. So Solana being the least expensive, obviously, that's why a lot of people are going there to develop things. The other thing is we saw the layer 2 average transaction fees in Q1 before and after the EIP 4844, which is the new mechanism for data storage, which really helped, drop by 99% the fees on basically layer 2s. It helped, lower those fees tremendously, etc. And it happened a few weeks ago. So for Arbitrum, basically went from 40 cents down to about 5 cents. Base went up slightly, actually went from 45 to almost 55, but Optimism from 50 cents down to about 7 cents. And ZK Sync went from 20 cents down to about 5 cents. Now, the total amount of money raised by projects on the different ecosystems, Ethereum number 1 with 650 million and Solana number 2 with 100 million. And then all of the other projects, they're, below 50 million, anywhere between 25, 30, all the way down to maybe 5 million. So once again, the big winners are Ethereum and Solana. And what's interesting as well is you see money is back on all those things because quarter over quarter, we're talking 140% increase to basically almost $900 million. Now, the weekly active ecosystem developer, the number of weekly active developers, on those protocols. Number 1, Ethereum, 2.5 thousand, so 2,500 weekly active developers on Ethereum. On Polygon, 800. On Arbitrum, 500. On Avalanche, 500. Solana, about 450. Same for Optimism. And then down to about 200 for BNB, 100 for ZK Sync, and about the same for Tron. Also, big increase in the DEX, decentralized exchanges activities. So in there, we saw that mainly Solana is leading the quarter over quarter growth with more than 218%. Total app fees 1.5 billion, up 68%. But here the ETH dominance is going down. It's going down almost 8.5%. For the total value locked in DeFi, 92 billion, up 64% quarter over quarter. And ETH dominance is 66%, pretty much, up 3.2% quarter over quarter. Now, in the DeFi TVL growth, the one that saw the biggest growth, Solana again, 232% quarter over quarter. That is now reached almost 5 billion. On the stablecoin market cap, still ETH is dominating at 53%, and stable market cap is 147 billion, and it's up 14.7%. And the other thing that was interesting to note is that the USDT kept on growing, but really the one that saw a big growth was USDC, with an up 33% quarter over quarter to 32 billions. And for the stable market cap, biggest gainer, it's Base, of course, and they're up 545% quarter over quarter to 1.1 billion. So on the DEX volume, we're up 87% to 5.4 billion. The dominance of Ethereum is dropping tremendously on the DEXs. It's down to almost 20%, so it's a big drop. And Solana DEX volume is increased by 180% quarter over quarter to 1.2 billion, and BNB Chain's DEX volume increased by 193% quarter over quarter to 1.1 billion. So they're really growing very big, those two. Then the DEX turnover divides daily DEX volume by daily DEX TVL, and basically the turnover, the biggest one is for Solana, who's definitely much bigger than all the others. NFT sales volume up 100% to 35 million, and ETH dominance is also dropping rapidly there because of the high cost. Everybody's switching to things like Solana and other ecosystem. So, and that concludes the smart contract, the state of the smart contract platforms for this quarter. Overall, we're just seeing that Solana is really, really growing rapidly, tremendously. And over time, there's not going to be that many layer ones left, because at some point people will start dropping. So you have to remember that a little bit like at the beginning of the internet, we had a lot of websites that did the same thing. Search engines, mainly, we had like 20 search engines, and they all gone away, and we're left with pretty much Google, who dominates everything, and Bing and Yahoo, who have a small market share, and they're pretty much the only search engine. So it will be exactly the same thing with the smart contract platforms. Thank you, everyone. We look forward to see you on the next Kryptonite video. I hope this video helps. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. And if you like the video at the end, click on the thumbs up.